What's up everybody, Andrew Ng here, and today I'm going to show you how to release upper back pain. Let's get started. So, you know that spot in between your spine and your shoulder blade? Those rhomboid muscles right in your upper back, right in the middle? Those spots can be so stubborn. It's a very common area of tension, whether you're grappling, striking, or working on your computer. So common with a lot of people. And I'm going to show you how you can heal this yourself at home using a ball. You can use any kind of ball. I'm using a tennis ball here right now. So let's get into the technique. So go onto your back like this. You're going to take this ball, and we're using it on the rhomboid muscles, putting it in between the shoulder blade and the spine. This also goes underneath the trapezius muscle, which isn't just the top of your shoulders, it's actually a huge muscle that spans most of your upper back. So we're working on multiple muscle groups at the same time with this technique. So you see I have the ball here, both my knees up like this. You're going to take your arm, put it up. I like to use the kind of like Tai Chi position like this to get it started. Let it sink in. You can kind of shift, take a breath or two, and then from here you're going to let it rest out to the side. Now here's the trick. Now you're going to look in the opposite direction like this. Now if you do it right, you can feel that stretch. You can feel it stretch out the muscle right there. Even if you do it while sitting up, you put your arm like this and then turn your head, you feel that stretch not only because of the rhomboid muscles, but also because of another muscle, levator scapula, connecting your neck to the top of the shoulder blade. Right now we're working on the spot in between. This is a great technique, and I'm going to show you another variation. So we're like this, right? Take the ball, put it down, out to the side, look to the left, or the whichever side is the opposite. From here, you can also try moving your arm in a circle. And there are two ways you could do it. You could do it with your arm bent like this. You could also do it with your arm straight like this, doing a bigger circle. Each one is a little bit different. If you want, you can have your arm up and just let it rest, or you can find a nice spot and just kind of work it in that motion. The point is that we're moving the muscle through its natural range of motion, which is a common theme within these videos that we've been doing, just like in the hamstring video. What we're doing is we're having that ball in place, and then the muscle is moving back and forth over the ball, just like if someone was massaging you like this. We're doing it kind of reverse version. So technique number 2, we're going to go directly on to the shoulder blade. There's a muscle called infraspinatus, and it's actually a big muscle that covers your shoulder blade, which we don't think about. Oftentimes when we're getting a massage, we think about the top part and next to the spine, but this is a huge muscle, which is a big player in rotator cuff injuries that we're going to work on right now. So from here, you're taking this, we started off like this. This is the rhomboids in between shoulder blade and spine that we're doing. So from here, we're just going to shift over a couple inches to go on top of the shoulder blade. Now you see that I've shifted my angle a bit, and now my leg is flat against the ground while the other knee is up. Before, we were like this, and now we're going to shift over, moving our hips out to the side and letting our leg rest. From here, instead of turning our head the opposite direction, now we're leaning this way, putting pressure on top of that ball. If you want to add more pressure, you can use the leg that is still up and press into the ground. See, it's a very slight difference, but I'm pressing into the ground, and that adds more pressure onto the ball. That's the second technique. Now the third one, we're following the line here, going from the spine, moving outwards, is the teres minor, which is part of its partner buddy, teres major. But this section is another big player in the rotator cuff. So we're going to learn how to release it right now. So we're in our down position like this. We started in between shoulder blade and spine, and then we shifted over like this. Now we're going to shift a little bit more directly onto the muscle just underneath the armpit on the back side like this. Now this area can be quite tender, so if you want to keep your head down like this because it's too tender, that's totally fine until you work up to it. But as you work on it more and more, you can lift your head up and that adds more pressure onto it. Eventually, you want to get all the way to your side like this, and now we're really putting pressure onto that ball. I'm all the way on the side, both knees are down now, and I have this hand to support controlling and throttling that pressure. From here, you can very gently move your arm up and down to get some motion in there while the ball is sunken in. Then from this technique, you can transition into the other ones that we've learned. You can start working on deltoid stuff, you can start working on triceps, you can transition into forearms like this, moving into wrist and hands. You can go from here, going back. So you see, we're following this whole line using our existing positioning of being on our back, shrimping out kind of, going like this, and we're following that whole line up and down. So as a review, we first worked on the muscles in between the shoulder and the spine, the rhomboid muscles. And then we shifted over to work on infraspinatus. That's the muscle that's covering the shoulder blade. And then we shifted a little bit more to work on teres major and minor. We're following this line, going from the spine, and then combine it with our previous videos. We can go all the way down the line, opening up this line of tension. I call them modules. We have the upper back and neck module and the arm line module. And here we are starting to put together a tapestry of techniques, weaving not just singular techniques, but now combining them into sentences. And this is how you really affect change, opening up the muscles. It's not just working on a singular spot, but now we're opening up a chain of muscles. And the reasoning behind this is because, let's say you have two muscles like this and they're both tight. And then you release one muscle, but this one is still tight and you haven't released it yet. Well, what happens is this one is pulling on this muscle, and this muscle, in order to maintain equilibrium, starts to get tight to pull it so you can keep it in one spot. So what you need to do is to release one, but also release this one, and continue releasing around the chain so that you can really get the maximum efficiency in relaxation and preventing and healing injuries. So there you have it, very simple technique for working on the upper back. Stay tuned for more information, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.